Hello there. Welcome to this section of the Calyx Services Garden. And as you can see, I'm standing between two very nice large dragon fruit plants, and they're bearing for the first time. It's a very exciting development, so we decided to share that with you. So please keep watching. In this video, I'll be covering the growing requirements as well as how do you plant and take care of a dragon fruit plant in a rather limited space. But first, let me properly introduce this very interesting plant. Dragon fruit is a member of the Cactaceae family of plants, and it grows as a climbing cactus. It is sometimes called Noble Woman or Queen of the Night because of its very large, spectacular flowers. Dragon fruit originated in southern Mexico, Central and South America, and is grown commercially in tropical and subtropical areas in South Asia, parts of the USA, and Australia. The fruit is delicious, I'm told, low in calories, high in vitamin C, nutraceuticals, and other compounds with antioxidant potential. Plus, it is in great demand in high-end markets throughout the world. Now, dragon fruit prefers a dry tropical climate. It's very hardy and can withstand periods of drought and high temperatures. And we're now going to look at planting. Well, of course, before you can plant, you need to have planting materials. And here in the Caribbean, where dragon fruit is not quite so common, that could be a bit challenging. But I was lucky that my fellow plant enthusiast and very good friend, Reg Burgess, brought me two segments such as this. There are two varieties, but he brought me one segment of each variety. And it was my job from there on to propagate from these single segments. It took about 8 months to get the required 7 sections that we use for planting. But now we're just going to show you how we prepared the planting hole and inserted the support structure in order to support this what turns out to be a very large and top-heavy dragon fruit system of production. So let's move on to how we prepare the planting hole. We selected the eastern edge of our vegetable garden, which gets direct sunlight for most of the day. Given our limited space, we opted to grow the plants in 20-gallon plant pots. For added stability, we buried the bottom half of the containers into the hole. This frame has to be very sturdy and properly anchored in the pot, as it has to bear the weight of the dragon fruit stems as it grows. 2 large stones do the trick, and there are more stones on the outside. We made extra holes at the side of the container to ensure good drainage. We have filled the pots with a mixture of equal parts soil, compost, and sand. Next, we're carefully removing the rooted stem segments from their pots and planting them in the larger container. And this is not so easy to do, especially with those thorns and the fact that the cuttings are rather tall. Masking tape to temporarily hold the young plants in place. We placed 3 plants in this first pot. Here we are completing the filling of the pot as well as the area outside of the pot. Placing the masking tape with cable ties, and these did a fairly good job holding the stems in place. The last step, water well, soaking the entire pot as well as the area outside of the pot. We established the second pot in a similar way as the first pot. Here they are 6 weeks after planting. This is the first pot. All 3 shoots have already reached the top of the support. We use strings to help in supporting and guiding the stems to the available spaces at the top. You'll see that no roots have emerged from the stems at this stage, so the ties are still essential in keeping the young plants upright. And if you look closely at the top of the pot, you'll see some blue pellets. These were to control slugs and snails that had started feeding on the young plants, and one application was sufficient to control this problem. Here there are 7 months. Let's see what the development looks like. Here's the first pot. The stems have produced lots of branches and they're growing out of the top support and looking very healthy. The branches in the second pot appear longer on the two sides away from the nearby guava tree, and that's a sure sign that it prefers or it needed more sunlight. The guava tree is blocking a bit of the sunlight. Here we can see there are lots of roots along the stems of the plants in both pots. Here's a summary of what we did in order to get them to this point. The two main activities consisted of watering and fertilizing. And although the dragon fruit is very drought tolerant, we didn't want to put them through any extended period of stress, so we maintained consistent moisture, applying water every 3 to 5 days in the dry period. In terms of nutrients, we topped up the compost at 4 months and again at 7 months. To promote growth during the first 11 months, we made monthly applications of 20-20-20 soluble fertilizer. After this, we switched to 7-12-40 to promote blooming and fruiting. Fast forward 14 months and the plants had started producing flower buds. Look at them. Aren't they beautiful? These 3 buds are going to be among the first to open. Very nice. I can't wait to see the fruits. We found the flowering, the pollination, and the fruit production phase of the dragon fruit very fascinating, but we'll have to wait a few more weeks before these fruits. We have 5 fairly large fruits, and we have probably another 4 weeks before they ripen, and we'd like to share that with you in the next video. This brings me to the end of this video, and if you liked what we shared with you, please give us a thumbs up, share it with your friends also, and if you have not subscribed as yet, this is the time for you to do so, because you would not miss the follow-up video on the mature fruits and especially to get a sense of what they taste like. So until the next video, I am Thelma, sitting beside my dragon fruit plants, waiting anxiously for them to ripen, saying thanks for watching, you take care, and we'll see you in the next video.